All right, Shalom. For the phone, so I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakak, Kodash, Barak Atham. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, and to all the argument across the globe, teaching the word in truth and sincerity. I want to say Shalom. Besides Diane Nawa from the Great Millstone Campus, Chicago. I've been watching this video here from Al Jazeera English, which is entitled "What is an Economic Hitman?" And after watching the video, it put it in perspective of how America and the bankers go about acquiring lands and acquiring countries to be under their control. This is a 15-minute video. I would like to play all of it. I'm gonna break it down into parts through the spirit. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying, and I don't get stricken down, but sometimes it's worth it. Take one for the team. But I'm gonna play like the first, few minutes, 5-6 minutes of a Bible show. Please bear with me. There's a lot of useful information in here. That totally lined up with the scriptures, and we're gonna hop into it.
Who are the economic hitmen? Are they putting insolvent countries in huge debt in order to control them and profit from their resources?
The rich were getting rich, but the poor were getting poorer.
I think what's important is that it absolutely happened and it benefited a small group of rich people in the global north.
That it's important for people to understand. This is a systemic problem.
Crashed into one of the towers.
Money was being diverted from health care, education, to pay off the loans.
There were a lot of people that did benefit from these crises.
Everything has been done to keep this game going.
Are there economic hitmen from powerful organizations that get poor countries to sign up for infrastructures that they don't necessarily need and take up loans that they essentially cannot repay in order to make profit?
We all know that America is a debt-based society, all right, where they give you loans at high interest rates, knowing you can't pay them back to get you in debt. So the loan you take out, whatever collateral you put up, or whatever assets you have, they can come and take them, man. All right.
After I studied economics, I worked as a stock trader. I traded stocks and bonds for a few years. I would read company research and study the price movement in the market. It sounds boring, but I loved it. I actually still do. In my family, everyone is good with numbers, but I left the trading floor to become an actor. And because of my previous job in the market, I came across a book titled Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins, and I was shocked. These people were not discussing buying and selling stocks or companies. It is actually about buying and selling entire economies. The writer talked about economic hitmen who coordinate with bigger nations to exploit and devour poorer countries. Professional people whose job is to deceive countries and extort them with trillions of dollars. Is this a colonial tactic to strip countries of their resources and political will?
Right, it's a colonial tactic, right? colonial, who are the colonizers, man? It's Esau Edom. All right, he goes around. Let's get this real quick. Salakia. It's Micah 2:1 that says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon the beds. The morning is light; they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage." All right, and in the beginning, talk about other groups of people that are put together, or they call them organization, to go into these lands and persuade the rulers of those said lands to help them provide infrastructure, or to move them into the information age or the 20th century, so to speak. All right, but in the actual goal is to put you in debt and to rape your country full of resources and commodities, man. All right, and they do it to the point to where the debt becomes so great that the people of these lands have to divert money from their different what's the word? The different fields, so to speak, like schools or hospitals or education. The money that they need to be poured into that. All right, they take that money that's supposed to go to education and food and housing and health, right? They take that money to pay off the debt. So what happens is that those things go on. They go unfinished, man. That's why a lot of these third world countries have poor medical, they have low education. All right, they have a low GDP. The majority of the nations who are in league or took these loans from these economic hitmen, they don't have the resources, the financial resources or economic resources to pay them back. So they take money from other areas, all right, where the money is much needed, but they use that to pay off the loans. All right, so we're gonna get back.
Countries of their resources and political will. A country that needs to build or renew its infrastructure will need capital. It also needs the expertise, technology, equipment, and all of that.
Right, because a lot of these countries are underdeveloped. They don't have the resources to invest in advanced technology. You see, and Esau knows this, right? You know that you have to come to him for his scientists, his surveyors, all the smart people, so to speak, man. Okay, we'll go back to the curses. Like, we're under the curses, and a lot of these countries that Esau goes to, they're not only are they brown, a lot of brown nations, but they're actually a lot of Israelite nations too. All right, it's good to talk about how part of the curses is that we're gonna be in want of all. We'll go to him for the want of all things, man. All right, so yeah, you may want your country built up to be relevant, but at the same time, he doesn't tell you that you're gonna have to use his companies, you're gonna have to use his equipment and his technology in order to get the things that you want for your country.
Developing countries likely will import some or all of this from another country. In order to pay for the imports, they will take a loan. It seems simple and straightforward, right? Fortunately, I can talk to someone who did this job. His name is John Perkins. I want to ask him about his previous job.
I was recruited by a big international consulting firm called Charles T. Main, which has since been bought, so the name no longer is out there. My title was chief economist. And I had as many as 50 people working for me. My job really was to identify countries that had resources our corporations wanted, like oil, like in the Middle East, oil. And then
Right, man. And you go into Wisdom of Solomon too. You heard him say that he's basically looking at poor countries who have no infrastructure, a weak government, all right, turmoil, all right, and the predators, man, all right. And you see, he appeared to be an Edomite, okay. So like him, all right, and they're sharks, man. They're wolves, man. All right. Matter of fact, let's get this. The first Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. All right, let's talk about us being aware of the truth. But this is Esau's job too, man. All right, he's always running around, trying to find opportunity, all right, to do his work. All right, and these other nations, all right, are fulfilling prophecy. You know, this is all the Lord's judgment. Okay, but us as Israelites, we know the tactics and the track record of Esau, man. All right. There's no. Oh yeah. You know what? Let's go back to the video.
as our corporations wanted, like oil, like in the Middle East, oil, and then to arrange for a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or the IMF or one of the sister organizations.
Right, and I did a lesson about a year or two ago on the World Bank and the IMF, and basically the World Bank supplies money to these countries, to these third world countries. All right, the IMF is the International Monetary Fund, which is in place like a Red Cross with money. All right, so say like let's use Barbados for an example. Say Barbados was hit with a typhoon, and all the infrastructure, their communications, the electronic grid, their roads, their buildings have been totally demolished, right? So what the IMF does, all right, or through the Red Cross, what they do, they go in there and they ask, they offer help. And of course, you got hit by a damn typhoon and everything messed up, so you're gonna need money, all right. So what the leaders of Barbados will do, all right, they'll accept the money from the IMF, but it's under conditions. You see, well, if you take this money, you're gonna have to convert all your dollars and do your business in dollars, in the U.S. dollar. You got to accept the terms and agreements of this deal before you can give you this money. And those terms may be democracy, because Esau does a lot of things in the name of democracy. They do a lot of things in the name of so-called Jesus Christos, right? So these other nations have to adopt a certain level of democracy, a certain level of ideology, all right, from the International Monetary Fund, which is who? Ran by the bankers, you see? So now they accept the money, but now in their school system, all right, they're pushing transgenderism, they're pushing homosexuality, they're producing all these type of things. They demoralized the moral fabric of that country, to where after years and years of pushing this, you started to see feminism on the rise. You start to see a more increase of equality for transgenders and the LGBTQ communities and things like that. All right, which internally creates strife. All right, but it also creates a mirror image of America, and that's what they want. You see, you can't take nothing from America without having to bow down to their request and to the way of life.
But the money would not actually go to the country itself. The country would collateralize the loan with its resource, but the money would go directly to our own corporations, big engineering companies like Bechtel and Halliburton and Brown and Root, and my own company would get a piece of the action to build infrastructure projects in the country. Things like power plants and industrial parks and highways, things that benefited a few rich people in those countries, as well as making huge profits for our own corporations.
Man, so, there's more to it. I was going to get a couple of precepts, and you can watch the rest of the video. I might play some more of it, but I'm going to get this precept here. This is Ecclesiastes 4:14. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. All right, and this talking about America, which is Babylon, which is Egypt. All right, but also wherever Esau is ruling, man. All right, you lie down with dogs, you're gonna wake up with fleas. And these countries be in so much debt that they're not able to dig themselves out of it, man. You see? All right, and this is the MO of Esau, man. Let's get this. Trouble to see, that's what it is. This is Isaiah 57:20. Said, but the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, with waters cast up mire and dirt. All right, and you know earlier in the interview, all right, you had heard the man say that he would search out countries who had weak infrastructure, man, who are really poor. All right, so what they do, they go in there pretending to help, but all the time they're ironing your resources, man. They're ironing your minerals. They're ironing your oil. All right, your iron ore, your gold, your uranium, your lithium, your platinum. You see, all right. And when they leave it in worse condition, man. All right, because what happens is they go in there and they use the CIA to topple governments, to create coups. All right, when the person of that country who has accepted these agreed terms have a change of heart, all right, and start to think that he's doing bad for his people, so he tries to get away from the clutches of the bankers of that deal, and when you don't want to play ball with America, all right, they assassinate your leaders, man. They create turmoil and unrest in that region, and they put in somebody who's going to play ball with them, man. And what happens? All right, the people rebel. All right, now you have civil unrest, and now they get to stay there forever to ensure that the people that they want to place stay in place. All right.
Time I thought I was doing the right thing, as many people in that business do. But over time I began to see that those statistics, GDP, gross domestic product, and other statistics are very skewed to the rich. And so the rich were getting rich, but the poor were getting poorer because money was being diverted from health care, education, and other social services, and just basic foods and supplies to pay.
Right, just like now, how sometimes especially now, like, especially now, there's a food shortage. There's a increase in gas. All right, but the rate of pay isn't going up. The cost of living is still going up. All right, so people are making hard decisions whether to feed their children or put gas in the car, pay some bills, or go to the doctor. You see, all this is by design. All right, it's systematic oppression.
The loans. I should mention one other thing, that the presidents of these countries knew that if they accepted the loans, they were putting their countries deep into debt, but they were going to get wealthy off this. Their families were going to benefit because they own the businesses, they own the industries, they own the things.
Right, the scriptures say this. This Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna get to the point. So, Sirach. Sirach 13 and 18. It said, "What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog, and what peace between the rich man and the poor?" All right, so Esau is not dealing with the poor man. All right, he comes to use you. All right, to rape, rob, murder, steal your resources, your people, oppress you and your heritage, man. All right. I think there's a script. Man, let me see. It might be in here. I'm gonna start Sirach 13 and 1. So he that touches pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. Right, man. You play with Esau, man. You're gonna come out just as dirty as he is, man. All right. I'm gonna read this. It says, keep going. It says, "Burden not thyself above thy power, where thou livest, and have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself. For how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together? For if the one be smitten against the other, it shall be broken." This is what I was looking for, man. All right, the scripture clearly tell you how about to deal about dealing with people who have more than you, man. All right, they can put you in a hole so deep that you won't be able to get out of, and you're gonna end up paying for your life. All right. I'm gonna go through this pretty quick. It says, "The rich man have done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor man is wrong, and he must entreat also." Right, man. These people take these deals. All right, even though they were fully aware of the consequences. All right, but when things go bad, he's got to beg for mercy from them. Don't invade me. Give me more time. You see, I'll give you this. Just don't assassinate me. Don't take my Benz. If I have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. Hey, Esau doesn't care who he hurts, man. All right. Says, if he had need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Right, man. In the beginning of the video, like, these people need infrastructure. They need highways. They need technology. They need better refineries or better infrastructure. All right. And Esau knows he can provide these things, but it all comes with a price. He will shame thee by his meats until he has drawn thee dry twice or thrice. The last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee, man. All right, man. He has no more need for you, man. All right. Then they leave the country in turmoil, and they look back and they put on news about how violent and how inept and how illiterate and how worthless you are, man. All right. Verse 8 says, beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. All right. Don't be deceived by his meats, man. The scripture talk about take none of his dainties, man. All right. We'll jump back down. It says, read 18 again. It says, what agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? Will peace between the rich and the poor? As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. As the proud hate humility, so does the rich abhor the poor, man. All right? Everybody hates the poor person, man. You see? Okay? But this rich man with just Esau Edom, hey, he's gonna get it, man. My fellas, get just some ended on that. Get to the point. Luke 16 and it says, start at 16 and 19. It says, Luke 16 and 19, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. There was a certain beggar named Lazarus which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked the sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I'm tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things, but now he is comforted and thou art tormented, man. All right, so this rich man is gonna the rich man who is receiving good things, all right, hey, you're gonna start receiving some bad, man. All right, particularly in the kingdom, all right, with the international bankers, all right, these Edomites and these other nations are going to captivity, man. All right, for the what? Unrighteous dealings. Oh, let's get that. Let's get that. Unrighteous dealings, right? Sirach 10 and 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, man. All right. So that's what, and that's what's going on here with the economic hitman. These unrighteous dealings, man. All right. That's why Esau's got to freaking get out of rulership, man. All right. International bankers. All right. These Jeff Bezos and these what's his name with the glasses. All right. Bill Gates and all these guys, man. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers and DuPonts and Kevorkians and all these rich ass elites, they're gonna go into captivity. And let's play this out. And I'm gonna.
They own the industries. They own the things that were held by electricity and so forth. But there was another incentive for them, and that was what we call jackals were in the background. These are CIA assets usually, who overthrow governments or assassinate their leaders.
John Perkins is not the only one that spoke about this. Many others say that developing countries which are in heavy debt may go through coups and assassinations as a result of not wanting to play.
My goal developing a recipe at Blue Apron is to deliver the most amount of flavor in the least amount of time. And
may go through coups and assassinations as a result of not wanting to play by these rules. And they say that these institutions and companies that lend countries have thousands of employees, and some jobs there are to manufacture and manage such crises. I reached Vincent Bevins, author of the Jakarta Method.
I'm gonna go, that's enough. I'm gonna get this real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 2. This is get to the point. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 10. I'm gonna start at 9. I'll start at 8. It said, let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered, Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion in a lot of this. Esau knows that's his time to shine right now. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth, man. All right, and that's what Esau does, man. He preys on the poor. All right, mostly he preys on the poor of the Israelites. All right, that's why he's going to get destroyed. It's 1,000 years of hardcore slavery. All right, but the whole mindset is if you're poorer than me, I have the right to use you how I want, man. So with that, I want to say, call halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Till next time, shalom and a Bible ball.